Welcome to Chris Biology. So in today's video, we are going to talk about lymphatic system and lymphoid organs, right? So what is lymphatic system? It's just an alternative system for the flow of lymph in your body, right? So if you see in this picture, whatever green you can see is all your lymphatic system, right? So we're going to specifically study about lymphoid organs in the continuation, but we'll look into what is lymph, right? Lymph, the word meaning is water, right? So it doesn't contain any kind of different cells or anything. It is just a plasma infiltrate. It is interstitial fluid. So if you filter the plasma, there'll be only RBCs which will be settled up. There'll be some WBCs and the water content of the plasma which will be settled down, which will be lymph, right? So as you can see in the picture, there will be an artery which will supply blood, and there will be a capillary which will supply blood to the tissues, right? So whatever blood is supplied to the tissues, the liquid will be left out there. That is called interstitial fluid. Adanna drain madakke. For that draining, you will use something called a lymphatic vessel, right? So the rest of the blood will be carried out by vein, but whatever fluid is left out will be carried out by a lymphatic vessel. Next, we have the types of lymphoid organs, right? So lymphoid organs are of two types, primary and secondary lymphoid organs. Specifically looking at what is the primary lymphoid organs. Primary lymphoid organs are bone marrow and thymus. I think you can see in the picture. So on the bone, inside any bone, there will be a space. So inside the space, there will be stem cells producing unit, which is called the bone marrow, right? So whatever red you can see is the bone marrow. Next, you have the thymus. Thymus is located in front of your chest or in front of your heart, right? As you can see in the picture. So this thymus is a training school for T cells, and it usually regresses with age, right? It decreases in size with age. And this is where the T cells mature, right? They be able to recognize the antigen, right? In yesterday's class, we talked about TH cells and TC cells, right? T cytotoxic cells recognizing and sending signals to B cell. So if you haven't watched the video, please go back and watch the video on antibodies. And next, you have the bone marrow, wherein all the blood cells develop, right? They are usually present in long bones. Both B cell and T cell develop in the bone marrow. Next, you have something called the secondary lymphoid organs. So what are these secondary lymphoid organs? These are spleen, lymph node, tonsils, Peyer's patch, and appendix, right? We're going to see about each one. So spleen is nothing but an organ which is located on the left side, just below your lungs, right? So these are nothing but the reservoir of RBCs. They are filter for blood, and they act as a graveyard for RBCs. So it's like a trapping, right? So it's like, from if you want to travel from one district to another, there'll be a check post. So this is like a check post for the blood. Next, you have lymph node. So lymph node, whatever you can see the green dots in the picture, right? I have a picture besides. So whatever green dots you can see, those are lymph nodes, right? So lymph vessels, whenever lymph vessels are carrying, there'll be small areas wherein there'll be collection of lymphatic tissue. That is called a lymph node. So they help in antigen trapping. So they are also again like local police. So inside a district, there'll be local police guarding, right? So same like that, these are local lymphatic tissue collection. Next, you have tonsils. Tonsils are specific to your oral mucosa. In your oral cavity, I think you can see. So whatever picture you can see is the enlarged tonsil. Normally, it will not be that huge, but if you can open your mouth and check, you can still see the tonsils. These play a role in local immunity. Next, you have something called Peyer's patches, where specifically in the small intestine. Where in the small intestine, or which part of small intestine? Ileum, right? So they're specifically located in the ileum. Whatever blue color rounded tissue, what you can see just below the epithelium is all the Peyer's patches, which is there in the ileum. Next, you have appendix. Appendix vermiformis was for very long time known as a vestigial organ, but now it is not. It is also a lymphoid tissue. It contains lymphoid tissue, and it is present in the cecum part of the large intestine. So you can see the bulge, right? So that is the cecum part of the large intestine. Next, at the end, you have something called malt and galt. What is malt? Mucosa associated lymphoid tissue. So wherever you have a mucosa, right, wherever you have a epithelium lining, all there is presence of lymphoid tissue. That is why it is called mucosa associated lymphoid tissue, which is almost more than 50% in your body. Then there's gut associated lymphoid tissue, starting from your esophagus, mouth and esophagus till your anus. There is lymphoid tissue throughout your gut tube or your gastrointestinal system. That is called gut associated lymphoid tissue. So this was a brief about the lymphoid tissue. Please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you.